Hola, this is Kushla from kushlachadwick.com, and today's question is, how do I achieve a good work-life balance? And that's an excellent question. Even when you do work that you love, and I hope that you do, we have to understand that business and work is only one element of life, and there are other things and people who want and need our time, energy and attention, and there are other things and people who we want time, energy and attention from that are outside of the scope of our business or work. So I'm going to give you 3 tips today that can potentially make a profound difference in the quality of your personal and family relationships and the quality of your work. So here's tip number 1. Tip number 1 comes from the wise Stephen Covey, and that is to begin with the end in mind. What does this mean for you? When you are setting your objectives, and I hope you're doing it as a family and individual as well as in your business, but when you look at your true objectives and keep those in mind, it means that you are engaging yourself in more productive activities. So if you're keeping the big picture in mind on a daily, weekly, monthly and annual basis, you are going to be doing things that are working towards your objectives and not get sidelined. And it just takes a little bit of a change in direction to get led way off course. For example, it just takes a degree, and you're starting this way, change direction by a degree if you're in a shipboat or airplane, and you end up in a totally different place. So I'll give you an example of this. Recently I went to a local film studio because I thought it would be great. I'd be able to help produce the videos that I wanted for my website on a weekly basis, and that also take off my hand, creating the videos and editing them and all that stuff. And when I got there, I thought that we were a great match, and I was going to go ahead with it. But then I realized when I looked at my yearly business objective, that part of it was to be able to run not just a profitable business, but also a portable business, so that my family and I could travel and help and assist other families in crisis wherever we were. So obviously, when you think of a portable business, I can't be here locally and filming my videos from a film studio. It just wasn't a match. So that helped me to make a decision. What would work for you? What are your objectives? What can you do to make sure that you are working towards your true goals? Is there anything that doesn't align with your yearly, monthly, weekly or daily objectives? Okay, the second tip that I have for you is to limit distractions, and this is a big one, especially if you work from home. So if you work from home, you don't have anyone over your shoulder watching every little thing that you do, and it is easy to get distracted. All you need to do is turn the computer on, and there are millions of blogs to look at. You can go on Facebook and go from link to link to link, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. You can just be consumed by the amount of interesting things to look at. Distractions, they're not helping you to be productive in what it is that you really want. So what can you do to limit your distractions? There are 2 things that I would recommend. Number 1 is to let other people know when you're available to speak, particularly again if you're working from home, so that people aren't just dropping in or they're not just calling you. Let them know up front when you're available. So for me, I have a break between 12 and 1 o'clock, and that's when people know that they can contact me and it's not going to interrupt my work. Whatever your hours are, let people know. Another thing that I think is super, super effective at limiting distractions is looking at the time of day that you do certain activities. So for example, if you need to engage with an online community of people, say in social media sites like Twitter and Facebook, etc., if you don't have someone else who takes care of that for you, then I think it's better to do that towards the end of your workday. And the same with answering emails, and I'll tell you why. Let's just say that you wrap up your workday at 2:30, like myself, and you get on at 2 o'clock to start answering emails and engage with the people in your community and your online communities. And if you do that between 2 and 2:30, like I do, and then you've got other things to do that require you to leave the computer, there's no way you're going to get distracted by clicking on all the links here and there. So for me, I have to get ready to go get my children from school. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here clicking on links to look at different people's blogs and and things that interest me, because I've got to get my children from school. But if I was potentially do it in the beginning of the day, then I could definitely get distracted and look at the different links, because I know I still have time up my sleeve. So do what you need to do to have a schedule that's going to help you not to be distracted by things that will distract you. It might not be social media, might not be emails, it might not be people dropping in or you dropping on other people. But have a look. Everyone's got potential distractions. Have a look at what yours are and make sure you have yourself set up to succeed in how you deal with them. The third tip that I have for you is one of my favorites, and that is to make recreation a priority. What do I mean by that? So recreation is a word that I take literally, as in recreate. Because when we are playful, we delve into so many elements of ourselves that quite often we just don't do when we go kind of on remote as an adult from day to day. Because quite often we lose that childhood spark of playfulness as we enter into adulthood things of responsibility, and particularly parenthood responsibilities. So when we look at making recreation a priority in our families and for ourselves and in our business, and I even make sure that I introduce an element of recreation and playfulness with my clients, I find that it is a win-win for everyone. And I'll tell you why it's a win-win. Because recreation or recreating, when we are playful, has some great learning elements in it. And some of these elements really help us to bust outside of the things that are currently limiting us. So for example, if you go back to your childhood and think of things that you might have done, like maybe climbing trees. I actually used to climb up cliffs when I was a child, or I'd go crawling in drains in the local creek. Some things that were like quite dangerous at times, but I loved them. I'd slide down hills on cardboard boxes, and with my children now, we go rolling down hills and we play in the rain if it's raining. We roll down hills. We play in the rain. We also go bike riding and just do like spontaneous things. My girls like to climb up trees a lot and things like that. So the thing is, when you are playful like this, as I said, it helps you to break out of limiting thought patterns that we have. And the reason is because true playfulness can have an element of fear in it, but it teaches us to face fears, not to go beyond them to a point where we get stuck, but to face the fears and then to use them productively. It teaches us to solve things, to be solution finders. It also teaches us patience and persistence. There are some great skills that are developed as we engage ourselves in playfulness. And so I truly believe that making recreation and playfulness a priority is something that will constantly be a source of not just enjoyment, but also of evolution for yourself and for other people who you influence. So those are my 3 tips for today. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you soon. Bye.